Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about an attitude that I find too often when I interact with my fellow citizens, and that is the inability of the subject I'm interacting with of analyzing facts in an objective manner, but rather insert his or hers ideology and likes and dislikes into the matter at hand. And when I observe that this situation occurs when even if on subjects outside of personal interest, which would be, I don't know, if I assess a situation that would benefit me in a certain way, a monetary way, or any other way, it's something that really doesn't have anything to do with my life. It's just a conversation between two friends, two acquaintances, co-workers, old friends, new friends. And well, I'm going to give you an example. Uh, words, the words that we use to explain something are very important because all words obviously have meanings and they have a fixed meaning. You can just make it flexible. A meaning is a meaning. It has synonyms, obviously, antonyms, and other words that again they have meanings. So when you use a word in a sentence, in a certain way you use in a syntax, you can give different meanings of what you're trying to say by using the words and the way you place the words in a sentence and all that. And when you understand it's a comma, when you understand it's a dot, then a sentence might have a different meaning. So you have to be very careful, but not that careful because you don't talk about, contracts or, official documents. It's just a conversation between two regular retards. So even in this kind of conversation between two regular retards, one and two, or one and two, three, you still have to follow some grammatical rules. Otherwise, when I'm saying, if you don't, ask me for clarification, I don't know if you really understood what I said, what I meant. But I'm not going to go that deep into the whole analysis. I'm just going to go to an example. Let's say I say that Russia in I'm going to use a sentence. Russia in 1950. The Russians in 1951, with their Russian leader, killed by that time about 20 million Russians. Okay, what's wrong with all this? Well, the first, in 1951 or whatever I said, it was not the Russians. It was in USSR. So that's the first mistake. You can't say Russia in 1951 because it was no Russia in 1951. It was Soviet Union in 1951. And that's a different meaning of the whole thing. Second one, you say the Russian leaders. It was nothing about the Russian leaders. It was the Soviet leaders made out of certain individuals. And if you look at those individuals, they were not really Russian. So you can't say in Russia in 1951, the Russian leadership killed 20 million Russians. Those leaders were not Russians, most of them. They were of different ethnic groups and racial groups. So then you have Russia identified as Soviet Union. You have the Russian leaders identified as various ethnic groups at power, they had power at that time. And then you have the Russian people. Well, How many were Russians in Soviet Union that were killed in by 1951? Well, we know there were a lot of Ukrainians. Ukrainians are not Russians. So then if you say Russians, you are incorrect, because there were Ukrainians killed, and some Russians, and some Moldovians, Romanians, and this and that. So if I say the Russian government in Russia 1951 killed 20 million Russians, I'm an idiot. I'm a retard. I'm a retard. Because the words I'm using do not reflect the reality. Now, let's say call it Bibi. Bibi tells me, makes this statement, I just worded for you. And I say, Bibi, let me make some corrections here, because I don't think you're right, which he's not. Bibi is not right. First, it was not Russia, it was Soviet Union, and Soviet Union was made out of many, territories and many ethnicities and so on. It was not the Russians, it was Soviet Union. Second, in 1951, there were some, for instance, Stalin was not Russian. Stalin was from Georgia. Saakashvili, remember? All right. Then he was not Russian. And the Russian government, there were a lot of other ethnicities like Jews and Georgians and Ukrainians, and I can mention Nikita Khrushchev. He was Ukrainian, wasn't he? And then I will say, well, it was not actually 20 million Russians who were killed, but they were killed, many minorities, many ethnic groups were killed in Soviet Union. They were called Soviet people, Soviet citizens, were Ukrainians, Russians. So you make so many mistakes. And now you have Bibi, who should look at me like a cow and say, or looks like a normal person and say, really? Well, let me check that out. Let me check that out. Oh. Emil, you're right. And I thank you for pointing that out to me. So now I know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about again the same incident. In the Soviet Union, 1951, they were the leaders, blah, blah, blah. As many Soviet people died, comprised of many ethnicities. That should be a normal person, an intellectual, a normal who really wants to know the truth. Now we have the majority of people that you interact with, and we tell you, claim this kind of statements that Bibi just did. And this is the way they would say, well, Emil, I think you are a racist. I think you like Putin, and Putin is a criminal. And I think you are stupid. And you know what? I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you're an evil person. Bye. Well, this is how people nowadays interact with other people. And they are certain of their moral authority and moral superiority. Even though, as I explained, they did not bother to even challenge the arguments you made, the information you provided. They didn't even bother. They did not deal with the issue. They dealt with you. Now, they dealt with you because you disagreed with them, but they don't bother to check. Now, why don't they bother to check? Are lazy intellectually? Are incapable intellectually? They don't want to? They want to be right? There are many reasons. You have to figure it out in a conversation with these kind of organisms. But all you can do is just realize the level of the conversation and ability, mental abilities, and moral abilities this person has. As I said, the first one was, okay, let me check. Well, it seems like you're right. Let me check. And I think you're right. And thank you very much for enhancing my knowledge, and I'm not stupid anymore, or not making the same mistake again. And we can have a fair, objective, and intellectual debate. But instead, that person calls you names. Why would that person call you names? Well, obviously, last time when I called a name in a conversation with them, I was probably in the, I don't know, 3rd grade, 4th grade. After that, I realized that that's not right. You have to bring arguments. So for me, whoever brings arguments and is older than 3rd grade, that means that person has a problem here. It's either at that level, or is so bad, or so invested in this issue that cannot be honest with you. Now, if this person is your enemy, you will understand that. But if this person is your friend, then how do you assess that? It's only one way. He's a retard. Because he's not ill-intended towards you. He's a friend, right? So that means that's his limit. So what would you do with that person? You will never engage with that person again. Because that person is incapable of thinking. That person is incapable of understanding that could be more to what that person knows. He or she thinks, maybe I'm wrong when I say all those things, but those are, clear facts that I'm Stalin, not Russian, Soviet Union, not Russia, not 20 million Russians died, multiple. So those are facts. It's like you can't, debunk that or rebuff that. So then you have these people attack you personally and call you names. Why would they do that? To make you keep your mouth shut. They try to attack your integrity, your character. They try to make a hit on, character assassination. That's how it's called. And they think that by calling you names, you will just be so hurt and embarrassed that you will shut up. But you should not shut up. You should call him back. Now the problem is that's more like them than like us. So what do you do then? Well, you're courageous, and in this case, this is the truth. They can call you whatever they want to call you. You have to speak up. Speak up. Don't let them be, because if you keep your mouth shut and you go into retreat, and you retreat all the time, they will not let you leave, because they will follow you. They will say, this is a guy who doesn't agree with us, so we have to destroy this guy. Now we succeeded in making him keep quiet on this issue, but we have to terminate him, never to come back on the table and debate us, never. So they will always attack you. So you have to, at one point, and when is that point, you're going to fight back intellectually, and call them out for what they are. You don't have to call them names. You can call them, for instance, in this instance, you just are a nihilist, or you just you don't want to broaden your knowledge, or I don't know, you're just not objective, which are facts. All these characterizations are facts, and are not really facts like you would say you're stupid, you're bad, you're evil, which would qualify to the attributes I just mentioned before. But you don't want to get to that point. You don't raise the bar. They raise the bar, you go higher. They raise the bar, you go higher, and hit them back. That's how you should do. Or you keep your composure, your form, and you are what you are. Looking for the truth, strong, smart, and just in your assessment of the truth. So that happens too often nowadays. And besides, these people get upset with you like you're not a part of the club. They try to push you aside, when actually they are the retards. But instead of trying to understand, they call you names for various reasons. But the main reason is to keep you quiet, not call them out. And unfortunately, when you meet people that who you, before, or I don't know, certain subjects you could discuss easily. Let's say I discuss the interest rate with this person, and then let's say we talk about, critical race theory, or let's say talk about Biden or Trump, or we talk about things that really don't affect us directly. But let's say we talk about gas price, or increase of the gas price. He can be very logical, or she can be very logical about that. But when you get to this kind of aspect, that really don't affect them directly. And it's not like that's my team. He's not in a team. It's in no teams. He's a loser as I am. And they still fight as if it's the end of the world and that's their club, their family that they don't belong to. It's like, what's going on here? Is the mass media so strong in using propaganda to form your opinion? And it's not the media's fault. It's your fault, because you have all the information available. You have it. You don't have to be intellectually lazy. And I think you need some wit too, and that's genetic. I'm sorry. I mean, you can be whatever. genetic. You can't do certain things. If you are dumb, you're dumb. You're not going to become smart. That's what it is. You can't. I mean, it's a limit. It's like you have a, I don't know, 6 cylinders, 3 point whatever liters. You're not going to make that 8 cylinders and whatever 5.0 liter. You can't. That's the limit. And that's how you were manufactured, how you were built, how you were created. The same with the human being. That's the limit. And you can't. But these are not hard stuff. I mean, how stupid, how low, how low should you be in order to be like this? Just think. I think it's third grade. After you pass third grade, you realize that these kind of things don't work anymore. But they do. Now they do. Why? Because we're surrounded by them. We're surrounded by these people. And these people have power. Why? Because you can go to college and graduate with a third grade cognitive ability in the United States. So do you get a college degree and say, I'm educated. And guess what? I will be a supervisor. I will be a manager. I will be a program director. I will be a director with the same third grade brain cells. Because that's how it is. That's the way it is. You need other qualities that are now qualities in the real world are called defects. But that's a different story. So good luck with meeting these kind of people and trying to deal with them and their level. But it's just you encounter them like more and more and more. They become more extreme in calling you names the second you disagree with whatever they, put on the table. They call you names. But you should not care. You should keep going and increase your knowledge. And don't if it's not too detrimental to your life, just speak up, call them out, and just ridicule them for what they are. Third graders. Stay strong, smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you next time. Ciao.